What's it like to live in Okinawa? How do I even answer that question? It's different. It's different from anything else I've ever experienced in my life. You know, it's a different culture, completely different continent than I've been on. It's fun, it's exciting, but just like any other place, it has its challenges, right? Keep watching to hear more about the specifics. Hey yo, what's good, what's good, what's good, what's good, what's good? I hope that everybody's doing well. I hope that you're having a wonderful time at home with family, whatever it is that you're up to. I hope it's going well for you. So today I just wanted to talk a little bit about living in Okinawa and what that might be like. A lot of people are always interested in asking that question, you know, what's it like living in Okinawa? How's Okinawa? How's Japan, right? And then I always have to pause and ask myself, how do I answer this question? You know, it's not one of those questions that you just want answer in one sentence, like, oh, Japan's great, but what does that actually mean, you know? So today I just thought that I could kind of at least start, lay the foundation a little bit, and talk about what you might expect if you come to Okinawa for a visit or if you want to start living in Japan. So like, at least for the people watching this video, I want you to be like cognizant of the fact that I'm talking about Okinawa as a specific region in Japan rather than generalizing my experience to the entire Japan, because they're very, very different. When you talk to people who live in mainland Japan, like Tokyo, Osaka, the things they experience are a little bit different from what I experience when I'm living in Okinawa. So one of the first things that I will talk about is the fact that Japan has one national language, which is Japanese, right? And so this might come as a surprise to some people. Like I know for people in Lesotho, we have two languages. We speak Sesotho, which is our mother tongue, at least for most of us, and then English is what we use in school to learn and stuff like that. But some countries don't have that kind of bilingual system. They literally just speak Japanese. And so when you come here, what you should expect first and foremost is that if you don't know how to speak Japanese, there will definitely be a language barrier. I don't speak Japanese yet. I am learning, and I think I can communicate very basic things in Japanese right now, but I am in no way like fluent or even fluent in Japanese as of yet, which is shameful because I've been here for 2 years. But that's a story for another day, guys. Like honestly, we can do the language thing later on. Essentially, you know, at least for you to be able to get by and do daily things like getting on a bus, asking for directions, getting your mail and stuff like that, all of that is in Japanese. And so it makes things difficult if you haven't learned. So if you're planning a trip here, I would say get your basics down, at least learn a few phrases in Japanese. I mean, depending on the purpose of your stay, you might want to learn a bit more or a bit less. So yeah, that's one thing that probably every foreigner experiences in Japan is the language barrier. If you are an English speaker, just definitely try and delve into like that Japanese language. Here's where the difference comes with Okinawa and mainland Japan is that in Okinawa, there's a huge population of Americans because there's a lot of American military bases down here and a lot of them come out here for work assignments and stuff. And because of that, I believe there's a lot of American influence. There are a lot more people who speak English, maybe. I'm not going to go down into like statistics of how many people speak English in Okinawa versus in mainland Japan. But I find that because of the interactions of local Japanese people and American people here, even the locals at least can speak a little bit of English to understand kind of what you're trying to say. So it's not a lost cause if you don't know Japanese at all, you know, because there will be somebody on the street who can at least understand a few words of English. So it's not that bad, guys. It's not that bad. That's one of the things that I've experienced here. So I am here because I am in school and I go to a very international university within the campus itself as well. So now like just taking it back from like general Okinawa to like my campus specifically, everything is run in English. And so our courses are in English, our lab work, we talk to our supervisors in English. And so I feel like in that regard, it's much easier to make friendships and connections with the people on campus, not only because they all speak English, but also because we're mostly interested in the same things in terms of our work. We're all here for science and all of that. So that kind of works in our favor. So even though generally speaking, there are few people who speak English fluently on the island, but the campus is an international place and everyone speaks English here. And so that really makes a huge chunk of a difference. Going to like other stuff now. Okinawa has a tropical climate. And so what that means is that the summers are quite hot and humid, extremely humid, and the winters are very, very mild, which is nice. So right now it's winter, but the temperatures kind of range in the lines of like, 12, 14, 16 degrees. And so you can still go outside dressed in your short sleeves if you're brave enough. You can basically do that, which is something that in Lesotho, for example, you could never walk out of the house dressed like that when it's winter. Like winters down there are so harsh, even though people might not want to believe it because Lesotho is in Africa. And so sometimes people just think Africa is this, entirely hot space. But yeah, we actually have real winters down there. Here in Okinawa, you can manage to live with just a few layers of clothing in winter. You don't necessarily need like a big jacket or like a long coat. You don't need boots. You don't really need beanies. You can if you want as like your style preference, but like you don't need it because it's that cold. So I have only one jacket actually here in Okinawa, and that's because sometimes I like to travel to mainland, so Tokyo, Osaka, whatever, and those places tend to have real winters with snow, and obviously you'd need a bigger jacket for that. So if you're going to stay in Okinawa, you really don't need winter clothing, you don't need seasonal clothing. So that's, I guess, a plus if you're the kind of person that enjoys warmer climates. The next thing is that, in Okinawa, like Okinawa is a separate island from Japan, like from mainland Japan, right? So that means we're completely surrounded by the water. We've got the East China Sea and everything. So all the time when you're driving, when you're walking, you're just like a stone's throw away from the ocean, which if you like marine sports and if you like just the kind of scene that the sea offers, then it's a really, really good place for you to be at because there's just water everywhere. There's amazing waterfalls as well, but I think the sea is like the most attractive thing about Okinawa. The waters are really like turquoise blue and sands are pretty like white, and it's really awesome. And then with the climate thing comes other stuff, which some people might say are issues, but some people regard them as good things. So for example, the wildlife is, for me, intense over here. So there are a lot of snakes. There are poisonous snakes. There are things in the sea that that bite people. I don't mean sharks. I mean like stonefish. I mean sea snakes and other things whose names I don't even know. But on the land, there's snakes, there's habus, and there's geckos as well. And some of my friends laugh at me all the time because I have an intense fear of geckos. But it's just because I grew up not exposed to these kinds of animals. And in Okinawa, geckos can easily be found anywhere, like on the roads, inside people's houses, on the walls, so for me that is like a scary thing to see a gecko inside the house. I want to scream, I want to run away. In fact, I have screamed and I have ran away when I've seen geckos in the house, and I've had to call some people to come help me out. Thanks guys, like some of my friends actually understand, and when I call them, please come get this thing out of my house, they come and they assist me with that. So for some people, they find this to be cute and they want to take the geckos and adopt them and pet them and feed them. I'm just not that kind of person. I don't enjoy seeing animals like that in the house. If they are in the jungle, in the forest, then I feel like it's okay for me. But honestly, I have so much fear for them, and I'm not a fan. So this is something that comes with living in Okinawa that I have to adapt to, because this is their environment, right? So I have to adapt to that and just choose to be okay with it and mind my own business, essentially. So yeah, this is pretty much about Okinawa. And obviously this is very general. I'm just giving you guys a few things that you should know about Okinawa before you do decide to come, or if you're just interested in how Okinawa is different from Japan in general. And if you haven't yet checked out some of my road trips that I have taken to different islands in Okinawa, please do look out for them, as I will be linking them on this video. So just check them out. I will see you guys next time. Subscribe, like, and share the video. Bye.